Hey guys, it's Brian from BareBones Entertainment. I'm here with Watsky. How's the work going for you?
It's going great. It's day 3. Houston was the hottest one. That was the first day. Now we're just like appreciating the breeze that's blowing through, and the crowd's been great and having a lot of fun.
Have a lot of kids turned up for your shows?
Yeah, actually, our shows have been amazing. I'm shocked, to be honest with you, because we're not on the main stage. We're on the Beatport stage, but it's felt like it's people as far as I can see every time. It's been awesome.
I know of recent bands you're one of the ones we're most excited to see and work with.
Right on, thank you.
So we've been following you for a while now, and definitely happy that we're getting this chance to meet up with you.
Yeah, we're good to be here. I appreciate it.
So, why would you release Cardboard Castles? What was going through that album like for you?
Well, that album was a pretty nostalgic album. It was kind of about looking back at my childhood and seeing how I got to where I'm at now. And I don't know, it was a great process. I worked with a producer named Krushnodi, who's our regular organist in our band. And I did a new album that I'm releasing on August 12th called All You Can Do, and both processes were kind of the same. It's like, I'm not a rapper who just picks a beat and then raps over it. I build everything from the ground up with a live band, and I'm always there through the first step of like writing the chord progression, picking out the melody, and then orchestrating it all and getting the string section in, the horns and stuff. So it was very organic and really gratifying. Now I got like a 9-year-old kid named Norton to come in and have a conversation with me. We stuck all those as skits in between it. So I had like a 2-hour conversation with a 9-year-old, and that was pretty fun too.
I know that's interesting skits throughout the album. I was actually going to ask you who that you're doing them with.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know that kid. Well, I know him now, but I cast him in a music video, and a lot of people kind of assume that he's my cousin or a family member because it seems like we know each other really well. But he's a kid from LA, and it's kind of become, I wouldn't say strange, but I've become like a mentor to him because I've cast him in a few videos and he was getting bullied at school, and so he wanted to hang out. His mom wanted us to hang out with him, so every year like I go to the new Hobbit movie with him and his mom, and he like gave me like a Lord of the Rings dictionary and like a bracelet to take on tour. Sorry, Norton, I'm not wearing it now, but yeah, it's cool. Like I feel like I'm mentoring this kid that I met through the process of creating the album, and that's been really awesome.
That's amazing. I mean, that's not something you hear often. Someone willing to take time out of their schedule to like help a kid that's having like trouble being bullied and everything.
Yeah.
Do you have experience yourself with being bullied?
You know, I was picked on a little bit, and I think that one of the weird things about having that conversation with him, and the reason that I actually included in the album, because originally we had a scripted thing that we were going to put in between each song, and then we realized that the natural conversation we were having was way more interesting than any of the stuff that we just scripted out. And I think the reason we kept it is because all of the things that he was saying were things that I remember feeling when I was his age. Like one particular moment that he had where he was talking about how scared he was about turning 10 years old, because he was just worried that like once he turned 10, nothing was gonna be as cool anymore, and then he would look back on his single-digit age and like always regret, not getting to be that kid anymore. So, and I remember it's not a stupid fear, but like, you have to grow up at a certain point. You want to experience all the things that getting older has to bring with it. So I thought that was really cool to be able to have like basically a voice that represented the younger me on the album.
Because it was cool that everything was in there. I see what you're saying. So it feels really organic.
Yeah, I mean, it was a real conversation.
Yeah, it was natural.
He had this funny moment where he was talking about being in jiu-jitsu lessons, and I went to his Brazilian jiu-jitsu graduation ceremony where he was doing his like little kid kicks and stuff, like thinking that he was like gonna beat people up real bad. And he had this moment where he like his voice drops down really low. He's like, "Don't tell anybody about this, but I got learn all these new moves, and I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna go school. I'm gonna kick your ass." It was funny because like, he's being recorded on microphone. Like whispering doesn't, a million people are maybe gonna hear it and stuff. So, but I don't know. He's an awesome kid.
Sounds like it. What information can you give us on the new album?
Well, it's kind of I feel like the first album that I did, which was a self-titled one, and this one, and then the next one, or Cardboard Castles, and then this next one, All You Can Do, are kind of not a trilogy, but they all speak to each other. Like Watsky, my first album, represented exactly where I was at that point in my life. Cardboard Castles representing kind of looking back on a younger self, and All You Can Do represents looking back even further to the people who made me who I am, my parents. And it draws a lot of influences from like the folk rock era. I wanted the music that my parents listened to kind of seep through the album, and so it's got some kind of, I wanted it to have psychedelic, late 60s music themes running through it without seeming like it was a total, just like stereotype of hippie music, because I didn't want it to be that either. I think it's really easy to boil that music down to its root elements and make it sound like you're trying to emulate it and then having it sound like shit. But you know, I wanted those musical elements to percolate through it, and I also wanted to get an artist from that era appearing on the album to kind of tie in. So just like I had conversations with Norton, I had conversations with my parents for this album, and we got Stephen Stills from Crosby, Stills and Nash and Buffalo Springfield to sing a chorus on one of the songs, and that was really an amazing get for us. And it's got a lot of live elements, just like Cardboard Castles, but I would say in general it's a more serious album than that one. It's got less comedic songs, but I'm really, really proud of it. I think it's a musical and writing step forward, and I can't wait for people to hear it.
Stills is definitely a big person building it on the album.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, a lot of my fans won't have any idea who he is, probably, because they're younger. And
yeah.
Crosby, Stills and Nash might not mean anything to them, but then their parents are going to see it, they're going to be like, what the hell? That's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What, you released a single, Whoa Whoa Whoa. How, from what I saw, fans have definitely turned up for it.
It's been my most successful music video ever.
That's why I had a lot of hits.
Yeah, I mean, it's been out for 4 days, it's got 600,000 hits. Like, that's unprecedented for us. I had a viral video in 2011, but it was, you know, it was a viral video, it wasn't a song in a music video. And that one blew up overnight. This one is more special to us in some ways because it's a real piece of the album. It's a music video and people are sharing it because they like the music, not necessarily because it's like something funny and gimmicky that they want to pass around. So the fact that it succeeded has been really awesome and also a huge relief for us because YouTube has also changed in a lot of ways. I'm one of my biggest fan bases is my YouTube fan base, and the algorithm has shifted in the last year or so to make it harder for your videos to reach your subscribers. So the fact that we were able to have a step forward in our views, it's just, we're like wiping our brow. We're like, we feel like we dodged a bullet a little bit because we were worried we'd slide backwards from the last one, but clearly that's not the case.
And I know I saw that you were saying it had reached pretty high on the hip-hop charts on iTunes. What's the highest that it got? So,
well, you know, it's only in pre-sale mode right now, so there's just one song that's been released and people can pre-sale buy the album, but it got up to like number 5 in the category. Cardboard Castles got to number 1 and then 7 in all genres, but that was when it was actually coming out. So this is great for us because it's just, you know, people are buying the album on the strength of knowing that they think they're gonna like it, or that they like Whoa Whoa Whoa, the single, so that's very gratifying. I think it kind of got to number 5 and then stalled out there, but still, that was higher than we were expecting.
especially for just a pre-sale.
Yeah, great.
And with your album there, you guys have a background with poetry, actually.
Yeah.
And I saw that you still do poetry readings. What's that like for you, and how does that help your writing?
Well, spoken word was how I originally got my start as a professional artist, and I was on this old TV show called Deaf Poetry Jam in 2007. That was on HBO. And the year after that, it got canceled. So I did that show, and then for like 5 years, I toured college campuses doing this thing called the NACA circuit. And you know, I loved being able to do my art professionally, but I was still playing for like 15 people in cafeterias for like 5 years, and that, you know, permeates all my music. All of my albums have pieces of poetry on them. This new one has spoken word on it too. And I feel like I'm in this position to kind of be an ambassador for spoken word, because a lot of kids who like hip hop might say like, can I swear on this thing? Or like people are like, fuck spoken word, that's corny, like that, I hate that stuff. I personally think that when spoken word is done right, it's really great. And so, you know, I always want to try and expose people to it, even though my show might be 95% music. I always do a poem in the middle of it, tell people, you know, how much I believe in this art form and check it out. There's a lot of kids out there who are looking for ways to express themselves that don't know that spoken word is even an option for them.
I know we're excited to see your show today. What's next for you after work besides the new album?
We're going on tour. We're doing an all-you-can-do tour for the album, so that'll be September in Europe, October, November in the United States with a guy named Kyle, who's another rapper, and then, yeah, that's it. So we're pretty much planned out for January 2015, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Sounds like you're going to be busy.
Yeah, definitely.
It's exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else you'd like to tell your friends out there?
No, just thanks for listening. I can't wait for you to hear the new album. August 12th, All You Can Do, Whoa Whoa is out now, and I appreciate your support.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.